Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about how Hollywood is kind of eating itself right now. Hollywood is not happy. A lot of the people on strike, the WGA and SAG-AFTRA, not happy with these interim agreements with independent studios. Now, if you watched our previous video talking about Sarah Silverman, she's like, I don't understand, if we're all supposed to be on strike, why some A-listers are still making movies.
Yeah, why some people are allowed to, yeah. And they're like, oh, because those studios aren't part of the striking studios. But all the products are going to end up in the same places.
Yes, that's just it. And that's what people are pointing out. They're like, hey, this is kind of hypocritical because when these independent movies are produced, they are going to wind up probably on, Netflix or something.
On the studios you're mad at.
Yes. So they're effectively producing content for the studios. The studios just haven't officially purchased the rights to that content yet.
So it's when you look at it this way and squint, it's okay.
Yeah, right. We were on a break. We're on a break. That's what this is about. So we're gonna talk about this. They're trying to do damage control now because they've been called out, and this is after Fran Drescher, I guess, showed up and talked to Sarah Silverman in person. And I don't know if the door was locked behind her, if she brought some guys with her or what, but Sarah Silverman kind of sort of changed her tune. But now other people are asking questions. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
All right, so they are in full damage control mode. A lot of people out on Twitter, saying, hey, this interim agreement thing is kind of crap because people... some of the people involved in these productions have said nothing about the strike, and they're going to make movies, and the rest of us have to go picket.
Right. And then on the other side of it, overseas, like in the UK and stuff, since they're a different union, they're still filming.
Yes.
Their major studios are still filming productions. The ones that are part of the AMP are still filming productions in the UK and other countries.
Yeah,
they're allowed to.
They're really, for this being a strike, for this being, hey, we're going to stop all work. We're going to make sure Hollywood grinds to a halt. They're not trying real hard to stop all of it.
But hey, the Emmys got moved to next year now.
Well, nobody was going to watch it anyway.
I know, that was the irony in the whole thing. But the Emmys are now not in September. They're going to be in January because of the strikes.
Well, there's lots of layoffs now, too. A lot of people are getting laid off because they're like, hey, there's nothing to work on, so...
Well, yeah, that's the downside. There's a lot of people who have nothing to do with it that are now laid off, too. And you're like, we're standing in solidarity. Well, some of them, they're not... their contract isn't up. They might lose their houses and stuff, too. And they aren't one striking.
Yeah, and meanwhile, again, Oscar-winning actors and actresses, A-listers are doing independent movies, and these people probably have quite a bit of cushion in their bank account anyway.
And it's a huge list, too.
It's a huge list. We're going to go over the list. We'll go down it. It's a pretty long list. But yeah, lots of articles coming out in the last 24 hours. Confusion in Hollywood as some productions are allowed to continue. Striking Actors Union is granting waivers to some projects not affiliated with the major studios, but questions persist about who qualifies and why.
Right. So they're independent studios that aren't associated with those studios, the AMP studios. However, a lot of them are making products that are going to end up being on those studios' streaming services.
Yeah. So this is the union's lead negotiator, Duncan Crabtree Ireland. Sounds like a D&D character.
That's actually.
Here are independent producers who generally have less resources than the studios and streamers who are saying, yeah, we can make productions under these terms, and we want to, and we're going to if you let us, he said. But the agreements are also causing confusion and consternation around Hollywood. Some wonder about the propriety of working on a production when so many in the industry, the writers, have been on strike since May, are walking the picket lines. For instance, Viola Davis was granted a waiver for an upcoming film, and she declined. She said, I don't feel it would be appropriate for this production to move forward during the strike.
Well, she's probably right.
They talk about Sarah Silverman. Now, this was put out, I believe, yesterday. Yeah, after hours, 5 o'clock. And this is just a puff piece. SAG-AFTRA says interim agreements are designed to undermine the production slates of Hollywood studios and ensure they come back to the table.
I don't think that's going to work because they're just going to look at it and be like, great, y'all are out there funding this stuff. And then when you want it on streaming, it'll just come to us then, and then we'll buy it cheap.
That is
put it on
exactly.
streaming. And then we didn't have to do anything and deal with any of your shit.
And look, we said before, I think that after the strikes, after the dust settles, in a couple of years, after there's more of a shakeout in Hollywood and with some of these streaming services, I think that's going to be the new normal. I was
going to say, I think it's great that these independent films are getting to keep doing it because the main studios that always, hog the room, they can't do anything. So these other guys have a chance. And you might get something new for a change. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest problems right now is Hollywood keeps going back to the same wells again and again and again and again. And you're never going to have another Star Wars. You're never going to have another Star Trek because you're not going to have the opportunity to have new things, because those were new. So this is their official explanation. A key element in our strike strategy is our interim agreement, which is being granted to certain vetted and truly independent productions. Along with the many other non-struck contracts our members can currently work, these agreements give journeyman performers and crew the opportunity to pay their bills and put food on the table by working on indie projects which are not only agreeing to all the terms in our last offer to the AMP tip, but all the righteous proposals our members deserve. So they're saying that we're basically using these independent productions to show the big studios it's possible, but I don't think that's actually
what big studios are going to do is they're going to be, that's fantastic. Keep doing that because they're going to come to us and sell us the shows anyway.
Yes.
And then we're just going to pay them to run the show, a licensing fee. They ate all the costs and they had to put up with your shit and we didn't. That's their takeaway they're going to have.
Yes. That's exactly it. And they keep going on about. They're like, oh, this is a fair agreement. This is for all of us. It's good for all of us that, you get your ass on the picket line, but, one of the Baldwins or something can go do an indie movie.
Well, yeah. I mean,
not another
I
Western.
don't agree that, some people are allowed and there does seem to be some confusion as to who's allowed and who's not. But I do think the fact that, since they're not part of the struck studios, it's a good chance for independents to get a turn. And they are keeping some people employed, which is a good thing. But they're all going to end up in the same place anyway when they want to be aired.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it. It all goes to the same place. You want to get your stuff seen by a lot of people. Your options are limited unless you dump it on YouTube, which they're not going to do, right? They're going to go with one of the big streamers. Anonymous. So brave. Don't be fooled. This comment section is filled with studio employees, and this person said, yeah, no one's allowed to have an opinion. Anything contradictory must be coming from the studios.
Well, welcome to our world. Every time you don't like something, it's because you're, istophobe bigot, some kind of terrible person. Oh, yeah, now the new one is, it's because Disney's actually paying us to talk shit about them, apparently.
That was weird, yeah. So I had a friend send over some comments, and they were like, hey, do you know that people have this crazy ass theory that you guys actually still work for Disney and you're on the payroll and you've been spending the last 4 or 5 years slamming Disney, but they're paying you to make them look bad?
No.
Yeah. Disney is so hypersensitive that if you complain that one of their parks is too damn hot because there's not enough shade, they will not invite you to the next cupcake party.
And that's true. And then they turned around a week later and added shade because other people complained about it too. Anyway, but yeah. Yeah,
so this guy here, I like this. This would be a perfect time to start a new actors union and leave SAG-AFTRA to the extras who make up 87% of the guild. Another fail by SAG-AFTRA. This person says, they're going to streaming services, to legacy networks, and that productions aren't made and sold overnight. But yeah, they're making them. That's where they're going to go. That's where they're going to end up.
That's where they're going to end up. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. It's going to the same place. It's just going in a roundabout way. And while it's giving independents a chance to make these movies, which normally they get shut out. That's one very good side effect of this whole thing. And maybe we'll get new refreshing things, but they're all going to end up in the same place.
Yeah. Here they go. This is what she said. They're
filming
overseas with non-union crew, but with SAG actors playing the leads. So there's quite the list of productions that have been granted waivers. And look, if I were out there on the picket lines every day for months in the LA heat, and I saw other people in my union getting to work, and I had to go out there and I had to picket because of, I'd be pissed. I admit, independent or not, hey, we're doing this for everybody. This is I'd be pissed because I'd say, well, good for them, but what the fuck about me? What am I supposed to do? Because I'm not working on one of these productions. This is not fair.
No.
It's not going to incentivize the studios to play ball because they're still getting content.
They're still going to win.
They're still going to win.
The money.
Yeah, so here, look at this. Look at this list. Down, this is just the A.
These are films and production companies.
These are films in production currently under this agreement. Now we're into the B's. It's not like it's like a dozen movies. I mean, look, and a lot of these are probably like, really bottom shelf productions, but there are quite a few A-listers and Oscar winners that are working on some of these movies. You can look that up. Look at this. Look at all these movies that got granted an agreement. Growing Pains. Hey, I wonder if it's like a reboot of the old show without Kirk Cameron because nobody likes him now. I don't think he's in the union anymore. I don't think they would let Kirk Cameron in the union.
Why?
Because he's like super hyper Christian. I'm just saying. And he hasn't acted in like 30 years now, 20 years.
I don't think it's been, I don't know.
A Very Stinky Summer. I want to watch that movie.
I don't.
Oh, here's series. That was just movies.
Okay, here's a series.
Here's a series. And Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction.
Oh,
Kids love that show.
Oh, we're gonna have to tell them. They're gonna be thrilled. Our kids, they really love it. They're so bummed they haven't made any new ones. When I tell them that, they're gonna be so excited.
So yeah, Tehran I knew about because it's something to do with the overseas.
Yeah, I'm getting a picture. I'm getting my phone out and taking a picture of that and sending it to the kids because they're gonna be very, very happy about that because they love it. Hold on, I'm taking a picture now. Okay, I'm sending it to the kids.
Okay, so James Woods. James Woods. Yeah, he strikes me as the type that wouldn't really be into this. Now, there are some actors in Hollywood. It's a pretty short list, but they have another classification where I guess you give some money to the union, but you're not actually a union member and you can cut your own deals. I forget what they call it, but...
like an at-large or something like that.
Yeah, there's a workaround, but you're probably not going to get as many phone calls.
What I think is a big problem is that they have a chokehold on the industry that you can't work unless you go through them. Now they're trying to go after reality TV people because they said, oh, there's a culture of abuse in reality TV. These people should be all members of the union too. And it's just about the union growing the union. But the reality situation is, I think that they need more than one representative for people. Like they should have an option.
Why? I agree with that one commenter. Why can't we have multiple unions? Why can't you find the union or guild that fits your needs the best?
Because they have a stranglehold in Hollywood, and if you want to work, you have to go through them. They're the gatekeepers, and you have to pay.
Yeah, you have to pay. You have to pay to go through the gates, right?
And then even if you're not making any money, and if you're not getting a job, you're supposed to pick it like the rest of them because certain people want paid more.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair. And they're coming after YouTubers too. And I have a video coming up tomorrow about how they're really cracking down on YouTube. All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.